Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today marks the start of my noble quest to save the Pacific Northwest from another sad and dreary Christmas. Because for the next 2 weeks I am going to be summoning snow by reading 5 snow-themed books. For those of you unfamiliar with Western Washington and the ways that snow impacts it, snow here is rare and therefore devastating when it happens. Everything gets canceled, everything feels mildly apocalyptic, but like in the fun mildly apocalyptic way, not the way that we've been dealing with for the past 2 years. And obviously nothing screams Christmas like a fresh blanket of snow. But with climate change doing what it's doing, we haven't had a white Christmas in a hot minute. Usually it's just like 40 degrees and raining all throughout December, and then like around January, February, that's when it gets cold enough to snow. And quite frankly, I've had enough of it. I don't want it in January, I don't want it in February, I want it in the month of December, which is why I am reading 5 books featuring snow either in the title or the cover. Will I actually read all 5 books? Absolutely not. I'm planning on making this a 2-week long vlog, so it's going to be starting December 1st, which is tomorrow, and then going till like December 15th, 16th-ish, whatever I feel like, really. Now, for the first chunk of that time, I'm going to be in the middle of finals. My college runs on the quarter system, so basically every time finals comes around, I feel woefully unprepared because we've only spent like 10 weeks on all of the material, and then week 11 hits and it's like, okay, write a novel about what you learned. So the main reason for me making this such a long vlog is because I know I'm not going to be able to get a whole lot of reading in until my finals are over, which they end on the 9th. So let's go ahead and introduce the 5 books that I have selected from the library. First off, we have Girl in Snow by Danya Kukafka. Yes. This book is about a high school student who dies, and then it follows the perspective of 3 people that were involved in her life. It mentions the boy who was in love with her, and then a girl that was kind of jealous of her, and then also the officer that is assigned to investigate her murder. That's book number 1. Next up we have a booktube Darling, which is No Exit by Taylor Adams. This book is following a college student that gets stuck in a blizzard and has to kind of take shelter at a truck stop, right? Yeah, a truck stop. While there, she happens to find a child locked in one of the cars, and then it kind of becomes a mystery of who at this rest stop is responsible. I've heard nothing but good things about this one, also nothing but bad things about Hairpin Bridge, Taylor Adams' next book, but we're not here to talk about that because there's no snow on the cover. This one has been on my TBR for a long time just because I've heard so many good things about it, and it definitely fits the brief. There's a blizzard involved, there's snow on the cover, all the things. This one's gotta summon at least a couple of flakes. Next up we have The Winter Girl by Marinovich. This is the only one that I didn't actually have on my TBR. I just saw it in the library and was like, what the heck, that's snowy, we can work with that. This is yet another thriller in which a couple moves to this small town to kind of settle some affairs with a dying relative, and while there they notice that there's this house that seems like it's abandoned. All the lights go off at the same exact time every night, so they suspect that they're set on a timer and that nobody's actually living there, and because of this, the husband of this couple decides to go investigate, and that leads to some thriller-y things. Hi, little interjection while editing. There are 2 books that you might see in the thumbnail that I just don't talk about. That's because I decided I didn't feel like reading them, so I turned them back into the library. I'm not gonna make you watch me describe a book that I know I don't end up reading. You may have noticed that we're a little heavy on the thriller side. I did try to avoid that, but something about like a snowy setting really gets thriller authors going. If I start reading these books and realize that I'm hating any and all thrillers, I will go back to the library and see what else there is. Also, if you happen to see my last vlog, you'll know I really had a hard time with the whole reading thing because I ended up hating both of the books that I had picked to read. I am not forcing myself through any books this vlog. If I'm not liking something, I'm gonna be DNFing it so quick. Just in general, I'm planning on this being very chaotic in terms of the actual reading getting done. I am just going to try and read as much snowy content as possible to manifest real life snow.
Should I pick you up at like 8:45 maybe, because it
Carrie?
takes a while to get from the sea to the library?
Carrie? I need you to pick. You can pick based on whatever you want. Just pick one.
I want to pick this one.
Obviously.
Okay, thank you. If you hear something in the background, it is our toaster oven. It's cooking us spring rolls, or at least it's cooking my roommate's spring rolls. I don't think I'm gonna have any. Anyway, I frequently say that I don't have high hopes for books. And usually what I mean when I say that is not that I don't have high hopes, but really that I have reasonable fears. And today I kind of wanted to start with 2 books that I had reasonable fears with, just so I could kind of get maybe like an iffy one out of the way as you saw, my roommate picked for me The Winter Girl. My reasonable fear with this book was that I was going to get a mouthful of the white male perspective, and with some smatterings of like a pretentious, like, love is woe, I want a divorce, blah, 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 that sort of thing. And I will say, my fears are being realized a little bit here and there. Maybe more than a little bit. The main character has been aroused like 4 different times. No, 5. 5 different times. I'm 45 pages in. He also believes that misery is an art form. He said that, his words. But I am not DNFing just yet, because things are moving rather quickly, and things are actually pretty intriguing. Do I think this is going to be a new favorite? Absolutely not. I will not be strong enough to love a book with this perspective. Also, I did just go to actually add this to my currently reading on Goodreads. Turns out, its average rating is 2.73, which is the lowest average rated book that I have ever picked up. So part of me now feels like I'm gonna have to go ahead and finish this book purely out of curiosity. My plan is to keep going with this one and introduce one that I'm feeling a little bit more confident that I will enjoy, so probably not Girl in Snow, just because that one also has a pretty low average rating. But already I'm sensing that I may need to take another trip to the library so that I can get a little bit more variety in this Summoning Snow vlog. Hello, welcome to day 2. My anxiety had me by the absolute throat pretty much all of last night, so today's gonna be interesting. But we're here, so let's get on with the day. I like keep waiting for like all of the sounds in my house to go away so that I can film this clip. And like, they're just not gonna go away. We've got the heat coming on. We've got a giant fan in my roommate's room because her carpet has water damage. She's in the shower right now. Like, there are just sounds. I'm sorry. Anyway, I have cried today, which isn't surprising based on how today started. But on a happier note, I did not expect this to work in any capacity. Like, early December, not usually a snowy time for the Pacific Northwest. But guys, there are 5 days in the coming week that have snow forecasted now. Obviously this vlog is a joke. I know I'm not actually summoning snow by reading books with snow on the cover. I know that. But like, with all that I have been like feeling lately, I really do need the implication that I may have some sway on the universe somehow. And guys, I do. The books that I read control the weather. So I just reached the end of part 1 with no exit, and very satisfyingly it puts me at the 45 page mark, which is exactly how far along I am with The Winter Girl. So 45 pages into both books on day 2. That's not half bad considering I'm in the middle of finals. Probably won't get any more reading done tonight, but once again we knew this was going to be the case with the first like week of this vlog. Anyway, bye!
Buddy, you can't see the book. Oh, you're gonna settle. Oh, you're gonna make biscuits. He's like really close to my face, so it's hard to show. But he's making biscuits. Oh, hi. Ow. Oh, no. No biscuits on my knee. No biscuits on the blanket. There's a good spot for biscuits.
About 75 pages into The Winter Girl, I don't like reading about couples that like shouldn't be married. Not even like shouldn't be married, but like you have to wonder how they even got married, because it's just like these two individuals seem to hate each other so much, and I'm still intrigued. I still want to know what's happening. There are things going on. Like, this book would have to get really, really boring for me to just DNF it completely at this point, but like, man, I don't like reading from the perspective of annoying men. Alright, it's quite late, so I'm gonna try and not talk too terribly loud, and I'm also not going to be taking off my bathrobe because it feels like it's about 3 degrees in this house. But I did want to show you my little library haul that I just did, because they're all snowy books that you could be seeing at some point. I did like film a bunch of footage of me being like going through my whole TBR to like find books that like fit the snowy brief, but a lot of that footage was just me like zooming in really close on covers and be like, is this snow or is this fog? And it just ended up being not that interesting. But basically my goal in going to the library today was to just diversify what I've got so far. I love thrillers, but if that's all I read, I'm gonna go nuts. So the first book that I'm gonna show you is called Extinction Game by Gary Gibson. This is like a post-apocalyptic situation where almost everyone on Earth is dead, but like a couple of survivors have been collected and they're living on this like island on their own like alternate Earth, and then they kind of have to like question who's behind everything. Next up we have the cutest cover ever with Snow and Rose by Emily Winfield Martin. This is a middle grade book about two sisters. It's a retelling of Snow White and Rose Red. Also wanted to draw attention to the fact that this is also illustrated, and like already the pictures are so beautiful. I think that if the Winter Girl ends up putting the taste in my mouth that it already is kind of putting in my mouth, which is bleh, this would be a good thing to reach for. Next up we have Emma in the Night by Wendy Walker. This is in fact a thriller, but there is snow. You can see it right there at her feet. She looks very cold. I've had this on my TBR for so long I've forgotten what it's about, but there's sisters. One of them disappears. Oh, and one sister comes home. Actually, they both went missing, but then 3 years later one comes back. Last but not least for the library haul, we have a book that I have been super excited to read for quite some time, which is A Disappearing Earth by Julia Phillips. This is set in Russia, which even better. It's set on the Kamchatka Peninsula. Oh my gosh. I think Russia is such a fascinating place, so I'm very excited to read about this. It's about two sisters, again, that go missing. I should probably space out when I read these, or maybe just only pick one of them to read so I don't get them mixed up. What I've kind of heard about this is that it's like a little bit more on the literary side. It's more of like a character study and a look into family bonds and that sort of thing. Speaking of the snow progress, some of the snow days on the forecast are no longer showing snow. However, tomorrow it is saying that there's now a 90% chance of snow. I really don't think it's going to be legit snow, but still. Hello and welcome to day 4. It's like 5 o'clock. I just got back from work and I immediately jammied up because the rest of the night is going to consist of mostly essay writing. But for the first little bit, I think it's going to be Great British Bake Off and maybe some reading. But update on the snow. Well, the reality that comes with wanting snow in the Pacific Northwest is that sometimes there can be a 90% chance of snow when you go to sleep, and when you wake up, that'll all be gone, no explanation, no apology. We do have some more snow that has cropped up on the forecast, but the percentages are low, and they keep going away completely and then coming back. So the chances of actual flakage, not looking great right now. However, that's just the first week. That's just the first half. If we just keep reading snowy books, snow is bound to come. Hi, welcome to day 5. You haven't seen me today, and for good reason. I didn't get out of my pajamas until about 5 p.m. But in my defense, I had the plan to completely finish one of my classes today. And it went I'm not going to. I'm really, really close. It's just this is for a creative writing class, and I definitely feel like I've hit a creative wall. Like, sometimes there's just only so much creative energy you can expend towards one thing in a day. So that has been day 5. I really, really wanted to show you me hitting the submit button and being like, 1 class done, 2 more to go. It's not gonna happen, not tonight. It'll be a tomorrow thing, but I'm going to do the laundry that's been sitting in the dryer like all day because I've been ignoring it. And then I'm going to do some reading, and when I get the laundry done, I will give you a more complete update on my reading, because I do have a good amount to say. I don't really feel like I've said a whole lot about No Exit by Taylor Adams so far, and I get the hype. I totally understand. I don't often understand the hype. I'm a little over halfway with it, but what I've been finding really enthralling about this book is that it's a situation in which, like, the protagonist can make choices that would be like slightly different from what you would do, but you can never judge her that much because it's just such a difficult situation to begin with. Like, she has such limited options, and I feel like in a lot of thrillers, characters basically have to make bad decisions to move the plot forward. And in this book, it's just a very straightforward case of like wrong place, wrong time, shoot, what you gonna do about it? And like, you don't have the option to call for help. You're just stuck with what you've got. And yeah, I've been enjoying this book a lot. And as much as I would like to stay relatively like even pace with these, I can't bring myself to read this book tonight. Once again, the plot has stayed palatable enough for me to continue, but the voice has never been palatable, even from page 1. Also, a weather update. It is slated to be snowing in the next couple of hours. Now, of course, I'm gonna go to sleep because I have to. I have to keep myself well rested. You can already tell how not well rested I am. This is just also kind of how I always look, but like, that is a little worse than usual. But my roommate is gonna be waking up earlier than I am because she has an earlier shift, and she promised me if the snow is substantial enough, she will wake me up so that I can get a little bit of filming of the snow in the early hours of the morning when it should be snowing. So I'm gonna get into this book for a bit, and then next time you see me, it'll probably be day 6 with hopefully some snow.
Okay, I'm running late for work, so I gotta make this quick. But when I woke up this morning, I thought that we'd been given more lies, but they weren't all lies.
Hi, welcome to my bed. I look like I've been put through a meat grinder, but there's something so comforting about coming home from work and then immediately putting on a sweater that you couldn't wear to work. And that's the sweater I'm wearing now. I'm also wearing 2 pairs of fuzzy socks and sweatpants, and it's quite nice. My favorite part of working retail is when, and I don't want to stereotype, but it's usually older ladies that come up to do this. And you ask them like a question or whatever, you're reading off your little mental script that you've got, and then they say, now I don't want to be nasty, and it's just, simply don't. Like, it seems like you do have the choice here. Basically, this is all just to say, lots of angry older women today, which, like, is pretty common in a craft store, but, like, a weird amount of them today. Which has led me to the conclusion that now that classes are over, even though finals are still very much a thing, I feel like the last several days I've been reading like after I do things. And sometimes it's nice to read before doing things. So I think I might take I'm thinking I might give myself like a solid 2 hours maybe? I don't know, let's not get crazy. But I think I'm gonna read for like a hot minute. I'm not, no half-hour chunks, which is what I've been doing. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the time. I'll regret it later because I have so much to do. But I think I need to be cozy, and I think I need to be reading. Anyway, that's that. I summoned snow. So like really I need to take care of myself in between. It takes a lot out of me to summon snow. I didn't film any of it, but the ritual for it is very complicated. It's not just reading these books. No, I will not get up to turn on the light. I just finished this. And guys, this is so good. Like, 4 stars. Like, I'm not gonna give it 5 stars because, like, 5-star books need to have that special sauce, which whatever the heck that means, I don't even know. But this was so good. I think I've heard about like 10 different booktubers rave about this book. And like, I definitely believed it would be good, but like, what a fun time. Yeah, I don't even have that much to say, just like, what a wild ride. That was so much fun. Oh, I did also find out the author's from Washington State, which is so cool. I love it when people are from where I'm from. I think that's fun. So book 1 completed. We're off to a great start. Should I finish The Winter Girl while in bed too? What time is it anyway? I don't think I can check while filming. So instead I'm just gonna keep stroking the screen. Is this an ASMR video now? Anyway, it's day 6. That's 1 book down. I don't know why I started saying this because I don't know how many we have to go. You can see all the books that I have to read in the next little bit. But whether or not we will actually finish those, that's a whole other thing. This is now going to be feeling very anticlimactic because I'm just posting it to a discussion board and I don't get to, like, hit the submit button. But, like, this right here, that's 1 final done. So that's what I've been doing today. Alright. According to my roommate Julia, we've got some snow.
There is snow in that rain. It's a mix. It's 100% a mix. You can see that some of it is like, it's kind of going down like,
Maybe.
And there's little dots on the windshield that you probably can't see on the video, but it's fine.
You can kind of see it. Anyway,
We're in line at Wendy's.
They sound like they're having a day. I feel bad for them.
They're definitely having a day.
I mean, it is 10:20 p.m.
It is rather late. But we needed fuel.
We were gonna get Arby's.
We were gonna get Arby's.
And they're across the street.
Not that we're like Arby's stands, I wouldn't say.
But that Philly cheesesteak!
the ads have been calling to us lately, and we wanted to try it. And they said they were open to 11, but that was a lie. So now we're here. Anyway, it's potentially snowing. I personally don't think it is. Oh, wait. Oh, hold on. That was a flake.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's a mix.
So I have some bad news. It turns out that getting Wendy's at 10 o'clock at night doesn't actually make you more productive. It just fills you up with fries. So today I am making a very bold decision as an introvert who generally likes to stay in my room. I am going to get all gussied in hopes that that is going to make me feel more productive. I'm gonna go to the library to do my work because I am not getting any sort of work done while I'm at home. Last night I submitted my final for my creative writing class, which has definitely been my favorite class of the quarter. Creative writing has always kind of been my thing. I really liked the professor. I had fun with the assignments, all that. And for that class we had to write, it was like a 10-page short story. For the 2 classes that I have left, I'm in just like an entry-level humanities course. And for that one I have both an in-person final and a take-home final. The in-person final is tomorrow. I'm not too worried about it because it's basically just a repeat of our midterm, just with the new course materials, and the midterm was really easy. The take-home portion's also pretty easy. It's like a 3 to 6 page paper, but it's like informal, and like this isn't an English class. I'm an English major, so I do a lot of papers, so like I know, and I've also had this professor before, so like I kind of know what the standard is, and it's like I'm fine. I will be okay. Moving then into the territory in which I am not okay, we have the big scary final. It is a like 10 to 15 page paper. I'm already at like 12 pages, so like it's gonna end up being 15 pages for me. About Heart of Darkness. And the class that I'm in is like a literary theory class. So we have to take 2 different schools of theory to analyze Heart of Darkness with. Which like you're probably thinking, okay, like you're in a literary theory class, you clearly know a decent amount about literary theory. No, I do not. The class has just been going completely over my head all quarter, so I feel very much like I am faking this so hard. There's things about my paper so far that I am proud of. Like, I do like the topic that I picked because I think I picked a good topic for, like, me personally to talk about. And it's like, I definitely have 2 schools of literary theory in my paper. Like, they're there, they exist. I'm just, like, completely convinced that, like, I'm gonna get that paper back and it's gonna say, like, you clearly didn't understand or you clearly didn't do, like, enough. And, like, obviously if I'm having these fears, like, that means I likely have the ability to, like, avoid them, because it's like, okay, well, if you think that there's not gonna be enough literary theory, then, like, add more. The thing is, I'm not done with my outline yet. Like, I don't have, like, all of my stuff down yet. I don't know if I'm gonna have room for more literary theory, and even if I did, I don't understand it. So basically, I'm just trying to work with what I do understand, and that's very little. Yeah, but basically, I'm very, very ready for school to be done. Alright, I'm filming this little update from the floor of my kitchen because I just was needing to watch Brie in the toaster oven for my roommate. The Brie's fine, it's okay if you were concerned about that. The trip to the library, school library, was very successful, as was the following trip to the public library. At the school library, I finished, or got to the end of, my big scary paper, which I will be editing probably tomorrow night and then submitting tomorrow night. And then I went to the library, got 4 books, which I'm about to show you, came back, wrote another paper. That's also done. Yay me. That I'll be submitting tomorrow. And yeah, let me show you the books that I got. They're more books for the snow theme. First up, we've got Orbiting Jupiter by Gary D. Schmidt. This one I know is like a YA contemporary. I know it's about like 2 foster brothers, and I know it's very hard-hitting and depressing. So that's that one. Fun times. Next we've got a little Agatha Christie moment. We've got the Citaford Mystery, which this cover does not have the snow, but in other editions there is snow on the cover, and I know that This takes place in a snowy location. I don't feel the need to read the synopsis. It's Agatha Christie. It's a whodunit moment, all that. Next up, we have The Children's Blizzard by Melanie. Well, this book is heavier than the other ones. Melanie Benjamin. This is a historical fiction about kids in a blizzard, I think. That's pretty much all I know. And then we're going way out of my comfort zone with some nonfiction. This is called Dead Mountain, the untold true story of the Dyatlov Pass incident. I've heard really good things about this, especially from people that don't necessarily read a lot of nonfiction, so I'm hoping that my nonfiction hating self can still enjoy this one. Hi, welcome to day 8. I'm about to go into work, and if anybody tries to test me, I'm going to look them in the eye. I'm going to say, listen, the only test I'm taking today is my humanities final. Anyway, I gotta go to work. Hi, welcome to my kitchen at 9 o'clock at night, where you will get to see me live on camera kill fall quarter by submitting my last final. My roommate's making cookies in the background, if you can hear her. You were not supposed to speak, thank you. I honestly, for the life of me, cannot remember whether I updated anything today, but I took 2 finals today, or I submitted a final, took a final, and then now have finished editing and will now submit the big scary final that I am nearly positive will tank my grade because I have no self-confidence in what I write for school. And we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it right now. You'll get to watch. I'm very tired. There it is, it's attached, it's in. Post reply. And that's it. That's a wrap. That is a wrap on fall 2021 quarter. The fall 2021 quarter is wrapped. It's done. We did it, Carrie.
Yay, we did it!
I guess you're not done yet. I shouldn't say that to you. You still have a final tomorrow.
I'm for 10 minutes.
I'm done! I did it! It's over! I can sleep. I'm probably gonna read. No, take a shower. It doesn't matter. I can do whatever I want. I'm done. Anyway, that's the update for today. I'll read a little bit tonight. Bye! Hello and welcome to day 9, the first day that I am free from finals. And yes, I am sitting on my fireplace when I could be sitting on my comfortable couch. The lighting was causing some problems, so for your sake, I relocated here to be surrounded by the tubs of frosting my roommate has made for a Christmas party she's going to tonight. There's frosting literally on all sides. Let's talk about the winter girl. I'm very clearly more than halfway. This is all I've got left. And I am struggling, not with reading the book, but understanding my own feelings about it. I simultaneously want to dismiss this book as just being sexist, pretentious garbage and just stop thinking hard about it. But I also want to give it a shot because I feel like me knowing it's really low rating has almost made me insecure. I feel like I haven't allowed myself to like this book. Things have gotten wild. Good wild? I don't really think so. I'm not gonna pretend this book is completely irredeemable. There have been moments where I've been really intrigued, but I think that they have at this point thrown too much at us, and because the main character is so unlikable, you don't really have anything to hold on to when things kind of go haywire, because you're just being led through this world that's becoming increasingly insane by a person you hate. So do I necessarily think it is worthy of a 2.73 average rating? At this point, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. It's not necessarily a 1-star yet, but there are some issues to be had with this book. Good news! I'm not conflicted anymore. 1 star! If you want my objective thoughts, this book does not have a strong sense of direction. That ends up making it very difficult to read, because you're constantly getting new stuff thrown at you, and you're constantly feeling like you don't know what the plot actually is because it keeps changing. And then also it's just straight up not fun to read because the protagonist sucks. And yes, I've decided he's supposed to be the good guy by the end. Funny. And then some absolutely lovely decisions were made at the end. Those decisions being to demonize sexual assault victims for no good reason. Just so we could keep on hammering home the whole, marriage is terrible, everything is terrible, can you really trust your spouse, can you this, can you that, bleh. I'm sick of it, I'm tired, we've heard this plot before, it's stupid, it's pretentious, and This book is bad. I'm planning on reading a lot of other books in the next couple of days, so we are not going to dwell on the newest member of our 1-star club, although I do want to look through the reviews and feel validated, because yes, now I understand why this is a 2.73 average rating. It's a bad book. Please enjoy the ambiance of my roommate showering in the background. I don't know if you can hear it at all, but we'll see when I go to edit this video. I'm ready to put The Winter Girl behind me, and I already have decided what my next book is going to be. I wanted to be able to finish a book tonight, so I wanted something quick, but then I really, once again, wanted something to get the bad taste out of my mouth, and that's gonna be Snow and Rose by Emily Winfield Martin. Hi, it's day 10, and at like 10 o'clock at night, almost 11. But a lot has happened today, and there's much for me to fill you in on. First off, let's talk about books. I started reading Dead Mountain last night, and I know I didn't tell you this, but I started reading Dead Mountain last night, finished it today. Wow. So this book is nonfiction, which is absolutely not in my wheelhouse, but I did still have pretty high expectations for it, just because there's a lot of things about this that are interesting to me. Like, I am a big fan of true crime, especially when it's, like, confusing true crime. Like, just a couple of nights ago, I had, like, over an hour-long conversation with my roommate about the Yuba County Five. This is also set in Russia, and I know that I mentioned with Disappearing Earth that I'm like very fascinated by Russia. I don't think I mentioned that I actually took like a Russian history class just for fun. I mean, it's for an elective, but like I selected that out of many, many options. Options that probably would have been more realistic for my course of study, but Russia is just such a fascinating place. It ended up being like honestly my favorite elective class that I've ever taken. I'll still like randomly give Russia facts to whoever will listen. Did you know Stalin was really short actually, and he also had very bad teeth? All of my friends have told me like don't lead with that one, like there's other ones that are more interesting than that, but like that's always the one I think of first. Anyway, oh, this is another thing. No, okay, no, this cannot be a Russian facts video. Basically, this book is about a group of 9 Russian hikers who were all, like, honestly, like, my age, or some of them were even younger than me, who went on a pretty treacherous hike, but they were very well prepared, and they never made it back. And then when their bodies were found later, things got very confusing and suspicious very quickly, because all of them were, like, a mile from their campsite, which was completely undisturbed, and none of them had shoes, none of them were properly dressed. So basically the question was just like, what in the world compelled these 9 very experienced hikers to leave their tent in like sub-zero temperatures and high winds in very little clothing? So yeah, like I said, I went into this like thinking I would probably like it, but I didn't expect to be as emotionally touched by it. Like obviously in any true crime scenario where there are victims, like I'm going to feel sympathy. I was like fully emotional by the last chapter and was like fully like tearing up, which I don't always do. I need to talk kind of quick because my camera battery's dying. But I gave this 4 stars. I really loved it. I think I'm gonna buy it for my dad for Christmas because he loves hiking. He endures me talking to him about Russia, and there are like some science elements involved in this book that I think he's really gonna like. Also, he goes hiking a lot. He needs to know to be safe because I worry about him. The other bookish update that I have to give is that I'm actually going to Dnf Snow and Rose. And this DNF comes with no ire. Like, I'm not mad at this book in any way, shape, or form. I just am not super compelled to pick it up. Like, it is beautiful. Like, the pictures are lovely. It's written in a gorgeous way. But, like, the plot is kind of unclear. And it's, like, obviously, this does not take me long to read. I could just, like, push myself to finish it. I don't even really know what I'm gonna say about it when I finish it. You know, I'm just gonna be like, well, pretty, yay. Like, it's done nothing wrong. I just don't really feel compelled to finish. Other things that happened today, I made cookies, but the big event of the day is that I went to work, which is why I look like this. And work was fine, everything was going good. It was a closing shift. It was all smooth sailing until 10 minutes before close, a man locked himself in the bathroom and refused to leave. We had to call the police, who never showed up. Like, eventually the man did leave and it was fine, but like, I was just like talking with my manager and was like, well, what if he was still in here? So yeah, I ended up needing to stay really, really late, and then I had to drive home in like peak stormy weather. It was so windy I could feel like the wind like moving my car as I drove home, so that was frightening. Anyway, that's been the day 10, and tomorrow I'm going to get started on Girl in Snow, which I probably won't end up liking as much because of the low rating, but who knows, I could be surprised. Hi! My roommate Julia said she wanted to be in the background of this shot, so we're letting her. Today is day 12. I, for the first time throughout this whole vlog, neither read nor updated at all yesterday. But I had good reason. I was talking with my mom, and she was very, very stressed about all the things that she had to do. And I was kind of like, hey, well, like, I can order some Christmas presents for you, because she hadn't ordered any Christmas presents yet. That turned into me just becoming Santa. So I had to get all the Christmas presents for all of my, oh, the cat's here too now. I had to get all the Christmas presents for all of my 5 siblings, and it was just a lot. And I also had to work on top of that. Today, my goal is to read this whole book. I haven't started it yet, but I want to read all of it today. I don't have anything else to do, except that I do, oh, the cat. My roommates went and cut down their own tree. Like, absolute, what's the word, woodsmen? Mm-hmm. Lumberjacks. Oh my. Okay. I'm mainly just proud that they didn't die, because I was a little bit concerned about that. But, okay, Kaladin. Today, we are doing our Secret Santa before we all fly off to see our families. But I'm gonna read this book today. That's the update. Hello, it's much later. I've done Secret Santa. I was gifted a book, this absolute chonkster. I also got my favorite chocolate in the world, which is more hazelnut than chocolate, which is why I like it. And also a sweater, which looks quite similar to the one I'm wearing now, to be honest. It's just more red. But just coming in to update you real quick on the book. I'm like almost done with it. Like I absolutely could finish it tonight. And the plan was I was gonna finish this book today. Is it in my capabilities? Yes. However, I want to DNF it. And I almost never DNF books this late in the game. And like, sure, I want to know what happens and who did it and blah, 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 blah. But like, with this book, I'm coming into the same issue that I have already had with a couple of other books this year. And it's just that like, when we're in these murder mystery situations in which there's like multiple suspects, especially when it's like a high school setting, it always stops being about the murder and always just ends up being about like who's having sex with who. And I don't care. I genuinely just do not care. It's just constantly talking about like, and these people felt sexual tension and so did these people and this and that, and cannot bring myself to care. And to be honest, I doubt that that is like the reason why other people aren't liking this book. I get it, a little bit of that can be juicy, like the occasional reveal that someone's cheating, like sure, fun, but like I don't like reading about horny teenagers that much. I really don't. I'm not in a point in my life where that's interesting to me. I'm just tired of picking up what I think is actually going to be a literary thriller and it ends up just being like, did you know that all men are perverts? And it's like, yeah, I did. Believe it or not, I did. I don't need to be told again over like the course of a 350-page book. No, I'm good. Thank you. Ooh, maybe like live on camera, I should like spoil myself to find out who the killer was. Should I do that? That might be fun. Let's find out who did it. I'm like realizing more and more how bad of a mood this book has put me in. Like I've encountered 3 minor conveniences in trying to like get this set up, and like all of the minor inconveniences have made me unreasonably angry. Shall we find out who killed Lucinda? Let's find out who killed Lucinda. All right, my guess is that it's Cameron, which I feel like is too easy, but also I don't know. At this point, that's just what I'm guessing. I'm not going to justify anything. We're just throwing self-harm into the mix too. Just no. I don't like this book. And I'm not trying to say that as like an objective, like this book is bad. I'm not having a good time anymore. I did enjoy myself for the first like 100 pages or so. But it's just putting me in a bad mood now, to be completely honest. Don't listen to this review. Think whatever you want about this book, but I'm just not having a good time. Come in. I have to come back through because the cat did not follow me. Okay, I'll go get the cat in a second. I just found out who did it. I just found out who did it. It's stupid. I hate this. It's stupid. It's not Cameron.
You don't like that?
No. I'm not like officially finishing this book because it's just making me mad, but like
You're skinning it.
Okay. Here's what I want when I read a thriller. Just so I don't look dumb continuously reading books that make me mad. Like, let me tell you what I actually want when I go into a thriller. A good time. I want, like, some twists and some turns. Doesn't have to be insane, just, like, I want, like, a ride, you know? Like, I want it to be fun. I want to be able to, like, kind of guess some things, maybe put some pieces together, maybe grasp at a little bit of foreshadowing, be like, ooh, I saw that coming, or I didn't, da-da-da-da-da. And really, that's it. I feel like my expectations are not high. This book will not summon snow. It will not. Also, neither will Winter. The person who ended up doing it had no motive, had no real personality. It was basically one of those, you absolutely cannot guess who did it, just because we're not going to give you any of the information for that to even come into your mind. Which I hate. So, yeah. I wouldn't recommend this book, but hey, I didn't even read through all of it, so it doesn't really matter. I just don't want to read it anymore. There we go. I'll read another book tomorrow after working 8 hours. Hello and welcome to the last day of the Summoning Snow reading vlog. I didn't film anything yesterday, I also didn't read anything yesterday. I was having a day, and I am kind of still feeling some of the effects of yesterday. I don't want to imply that yesterday was anything like more than what I usually handle. It was just, you know, an 8-hour shift during Christmas season. A customer blamed me for COVID. Just stuff like that. I just ended the day on just a really bad note and was like, I don't want to read, I don't want to do anything really. Which, I mean, at this point we know. I summoned a tiny bit of snow that I got very little footage of because I summoned it right before going into work, and by the time I was out of work, literally just a 4-hour shift, the snow was already gone. But I did summon a little bit. We're not going to expect any more. I think that we've done what we can. But we are going to read. My goal is to read this whole book today, which, like, what a goal, you know? Like, it also has, like, very big text, too. So, like, I'll probably be done with this in, like, honestly, an hour. And then I'm also going to be reading this. I have no goal to finish it today. If I am really liking it, I may end up finishing it. I don't really see that happening, but I will give you the updates, all of that. I'm also probably going to go to the library just because it's my favorite place in the world, turn in all of the snow books that I didn't read this time around. I'm honestly not a seasonal reader, so I will probably read those books at some point. I don't have to wait till next winter. I could read it in the summer, I could read it in the fall or the spring. Planning on having just like a chill, low expectations day for the last day of this vlog, because, like, I'll be real, I'm feeling a little burnt out. Not necessarily with, like, this in particular, but just in, like, life. It's not a surprise. I did very recently finish up with finals, which, by the way, the grades have started to come in. Guess who kept her 4.0? Or, you know, there's one class I don't know about yet, so I guess I shouldn't speak too soon, but that big scary paper, 100%. I've been feeling burnt out from, like, just having finished finals, feeling burnt out just because I haven't seen my family in a while and I really, really just want to go home and, like, have Christmas. Feeling burnt out because customers are terrible around this time of year. Some of them have been nice. It's interesting because it's like the nicest and the meanest come out of the woodwork at the same time. So you go from, like, beaming, happy, what a wonderful interaction that just was with this stranger, to then, like, people like you exist? Like, oh my gosh, please, don't kill me. And so it's just a lot. I really should have, like, raised my desk chair a bit for this clip because I know I'm very, like, shrunken the whole time. I have terrible posture. I'm gonna go ahead and read books, and that'll end the vlog. I summoned a little bit of snow, my work is done. All I have to do now is just enjoy a nice day of reading. Several hours and some very chapped lips later, I finished Orbiting Jupiter. It did not take me several hours, it took probably like an hour and a half. It's a very quick read, but I'm giving it 4 stars. If I haven't said anything about it yet, which I don't think I have, it's following a middle school boy named Jack, whose family has just taken in a foster child named Joseph, who is a couple years older than Jack. All that Jack really knows about Joseph when Joseph comes to stay with his family is that Joseph at one point tried to kill one of his teachers while he was under the influence of some unknown drug that was given to him. He also knows that he has a 3-month-old daughter, which to a 6th grader is obviously a pretty terrifying concept, that somebody only a few years older than him could be a father. Because this book is really short, it doesn't give itself a lot of room to do a whole lot, but it's still very impactful. It definitely is opening up some conversations around how our society fails to deal with kids that haven't had like the conventional upbringing and therefore aren't working off of like a conventional pacing for their life. Because really the most heartbreaking thing about this book is that very few people know how to deal with this kid and what he's gone through and his experiences, because it's just so different from the norm of what a middle school boy would be experiencing. I think it's a really great book for teen readers to have access to, because it is exposing teenagers to like, hey, maybe not everybody in your grade has had the same experiences that you have. Like, you don't know what they're dealing with, you don't know what they're going through, and you may have to like adjust your expectations for what somebody could have gone through at your age. So I'm really glad that I read this one, even though it was a really short read, and part of me wishes that it was a little bit longer so that it could kind of dig into some of the things that it opened up. But because time has kind of gotten away from me, and because I don't like the judgmental faces that these children have been making at me all day, I don't think I'm going to get back into the Children's Blizzard. I wasn't really intending to finish it today because, once again, like, I wanted to take today to just kind of chill, and because I wanted to go to the library today and it's closing in like an hour, I do just kind of have to make the decision, and I'm just gonna go ahead, send this on its way, and call the vlog off at 5 books read. Well, how many? Okay, hold on. Okay, we read No Exit, finished it. We read The Winter Girl, finished it. We read Dead Mountain, finished it. And we read this, finished it. We tried to read Snow and Rose, and we tried to read Girl in Snow. We got really far with both and just decided that they weren't really for us. Why I am talking about myself in 3rd person plural? 1st person plural. I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the vlog here. I tried to summon snow, it kind of worked. Thank you so much for coming along with me through finals week and that weird period after where you can like finally live your life again, but then you're still trying to deal with like the guilt of living your life because you feel like you have 5 papers to write, even though they're all written and submitted and they're done and it's all good. I have one more video planned for the month of December. I'm not a Vlogmas kind of gal, and obviously I have not been making booktube content for very long, but even if I had been making booktube content for a long time, don't see myself ever becoming a Vlogmas type of gal. My subscription feed is currently just like flooded with Vlogmas content, and I'm just like, are you all okay? That's too much.